be writing this down. We're asking the artist a question. So again, look at this painting and ask the artist a question.
Dear Steve.
Oh, geez.
I think the only thing that I did wrong with my guy's hair is the grayish.
All right, and G, give the artist a suggestion to improve their artwork. Again, looking at the same artwork. What's a suggestion for improvement? Write it down.
I don't know.
This is just your opinion. There's not a right or a wrong answer.
Wait, so should we just... What's the first one?
The T was tell the artist something you like.
Oh, okay.
How could you possibly give improvement though? Like,
Well, you might not think that there's room for improvement, but when you look at it, if he was asking you, what could I do to make this better? What would you tell him?
I tell him
Right? If he asked your opinion, just like you might ask me your opinion, and you expect a response, right? Does that make sense? So on your page, at your seats, you'll see a worksheet that looks like this, and it is just the tag. Tell the artist something you like, ask the artist a question, and give the artist a suggestion. These are just handouts, not to write on. We're going to leave them on the table all day today for students to reference, because you're going to be tagging each other's portraits. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up. Understand what I mean by tagging each other's portraits? Jasmine, you know what I mean by tagging each other's portraits? So that is what we're going to be doing to each other's portraits on Seesaw. So now I'm going to just talk you through handing your artwork into Seesaw. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a photograph of it, as we always do. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Seesaw. And our student account, I'm just going to go ahead and sign out. If you're logged in on a personal device, I want you to sign out of it. Okay, if you're logged in on a personal device, then you're going to choose I'm a student. And you're going to use a QR code. It doesn't matter which one, they're posted all around the room. And and you're going to go to the QR code and it'll take you to the class. If you're signed in as you, I don't get a notification that you handed anything in. If you're signed in as a student, you're required to select yourself, and then I get that notification that you handed something in. So if this is, if I'm ready to hand in my portrait, and you guys, even if you're not finished, hand it in where it's at so I can give you credit for what is done. Does that make sense? We're going to critique what is done. You can still resubmit it for full credit, but we're just going to what is done, where you're at right now. We're handing that in today. So I'm going to hit my photo. I'm going to take a photograph of my artwork. So if this computer's my artwork, I'm going to take a photograph of it. Take a minute to adjust the orientation to be correct, right? Did you see how my photo was upside down? Did you see how I just hit that rotate button along the bottom and that rotates the orientation to be correct? I noticed some of you guys are handing in your artwork upside down, right? Change that orientation. Now you're going to hand in your artist statement with a voice recording. So I'm going to hit the record. This is my artist statement. Then I hit the red button again, and I hit the check mark. Once I hit the check mark, I can listen to my artist statement. Right? If I like that, I can hit the check mark again. If I want to add to it, I can hit the play button again, and I can add to my artist statement. I'm adding right now. Then I hit the pause. I hit the check mark again. And now I'm going to find my name. I'm not a student, so my name's not in here, so I'm not going to save that. I'm going to X out of it. But you would find your name, and that's how I get the email or the notification that you've handed it in, right? That you turn it in and select your name. Any questions on how you're going to do that? So you'll have to do yours maybe during homeroom tomorrow, or when you do have your paper. Does that answer your question, Cole? Okay, so right now we are all going to write an artist statement. We're going to write a 5-sentence artist statement. There are worksheets on your desks. They look like this, right? So you can go ahead and pull that out. Your scratch piece of paper that you wrote your T.A.G critique on, you can go ahead and use that same scratch piece of paper. If you don't get it done in class today, there is an artist statement PDF in Google Classroom for you to access. But your first sentence for your artist statement is going to be a description of your artwork. So right here it gives you some ideas. Some questions to consider is, what does your artwork look like? What is the subject of your artwork? What is the title of your work? What elements or principles are most obvious in your artwork? But in one sentence, just using one sentence, go ahead and write down a 1-sentence description of your artwork right now. On your scratch piece of paper. Your scratch piece of paper, the one you did your T.A.G critique on.
Okay. It is better. It just works like that.
Make it a complete sentence, right? Don't just answer a question. Make sure it's a complete sentence, a complete thought. You can still critique it. You know what it looks like, right? Describe it. All right, so your second sentence is telling me how you made your artwork. You might talk about the medium. You may talk about our notes on portraits, right? You might talk about drawing out light until you get it right. A one-sentence explanation of how you made your artwork.
Okay.
Now for our third sentence, it's asking the big idea. Everybody made a self-portrait, but remember how we talked about Frida Kahlo and how she expressed herself, or Dean Russo, and how he expressed himself, right? How are you expressing yourself? What's your big idea about your portrait? So one sentence explaining your big idea about your portrait.
I'm excited for this day, and then I can go if the day is over, well, the school day, then was that Mickey Mouse? Or you bro?
Yeah.
Is it just hard for you to think about it without looking at it? So you're going to do this as homework? Why don't you just try and do it from memory? Okay. All right, in your fourth sentence, you guys, what were your goals? You could think about our scales, right, like our learning targets. You could also think about the proportions that we talked about. Maybe you're going to think about the technique. Maybe oil pastel is a new medium for you, and maybe your goal was to improve at getting better at that. Like, what were your goals? When you started this, what did you want to work out for you? opinion. Do you like it? And then back it up. Yes, and then tell me why. Or no, and then tell me why. Give me your opinion and then back it up for that last sentence. Alright, so almost everybody in here just wrote an artist statement. You wrote your first 5-sentence artist statement. Give yourselves like some applause. Your first artist statement, you guys, this is awesome, right? Good job. Alright, so now you're going to hand in your artwork with your artist statement. I already showed you how to do that, but I'm just going to show you some students that have handed theirs in. So this is Laura from first hour, and this is her artist statement.
Laura, this is my self-portrait. Its name is What is Life? A self-portrait created by me. I used the knowledge from the past and recently taught to create it. Wanting to describe myself just a little bit, I added something about me. My goals for this were to improve my artwork and successfully portray myself in this work of art. I wish that my nose could have been done a little bit better. Or a little bit more realistically. However, my eyes are my favorite part.
All right, so that's her artist statement, right? It's 5 sentences. Your artist statements are worth 5 points. Does that make sense? A point for each sentence. So when I go in and grade that, I'm looking that she answered each of those questions. And she gets a point for each question that she answered. Are you tracking? Mm-hmm. All right, then I'm going to have you guys critique, T.A.G critique, once yours is in, then you're going to start looking at your classmates. You're going to view some of your classmates' artist statements, okay? You're going to pick one, and you're going to do a T.A.G critique on it. So you can see that Laura did a T.A.G critique on Annika's artwork, right? So she wrote, I think that the hair is very well done and excellently blended. Excuse me, Annika did a T.A.G critique on Laura's artwork. So her T, her A is I ponder the enigma of this background and wonder what it would be if it was finished or if it was full. And then G, I think that a small improvement to the art would be if the background was finished. If it's finished through, you could possibly add some color. So again, she T.A.G critiqued Laura's artwork. The T.A.G critique is worth 3 points, 1 for the T, 1 for the A, and 1 for the G. You're going to do your T.A.G on one single artwork from 3rd hour. Any questions on what you guys are doing for the rest of the period? If you get finished early, you can work in your journals or on your baskets. Do you make it to work? Yes, you may work on your basket. Are you looking for seesaw? Remember to sign yourself out and get back in. So just click on that, sign out, and then go back into seesaw and scan the QR code. So you need to sign yourself out. Hit your picture, and then hit that, yep, sign out. And then sign back in with the QR code.
A man of my standards.
Araya, you're changing it in as a, you can still finish it and I'll still give you full credit.
Man of
right? When it is finished, but I just want to see where you're at today. We're gonna critique it today.
Okay.
We're gonna write our artist statement about today. Does that make sense? Okay.
Describe my
And then can I come back in?
life.
You don't need to sign. You can later, but you're signed in as a student right now, so that I get a notification when you hand it in. Otherwise, I don't. All right. Sorry for stepping on your
looks a
toe.
lot like me, but I feel like I could do it here. My glasses better.
And then sign out.
I want to trash this.
And then you're gonna sign in.
Oh, mine did not turn out.
Trash.
Can I see?
But my girl knows what person.
Okay, so I love
My
the
description of my
personality of
artwork
this.
is that it looks a lot like me, but the glasses
I don't
can be
like
done
color
a
as
lot
much.
better.
You know, I
And I created my artwork using
Okay.
rule of thumb, oil
I
pastels.
think if you grabbed a Sharpie and traced some of your lines, so some of your features stood out.
The big idea was
Get more. Do you want
to make it look a lot like me as much as I can.
That was your fault.
My goals were to learn how to use oil
Oh my
gosh. And to make it
Oh my gosh.
And my thoughts on my overall artwork are that it's pretty good, but I think it could be better next time.
Yeah, you.
And that it looks a lot like me.
Can I see your artwork where it's at? That's okay. Just gonna turn it just like this. You can still finish it perfect, but I can get more colors.
Oh,
Add one. Grab photo.
yep, we're gonna do it like
How do I restart this again?
Okay,
I know it.
so
We got
you're gonna wanna tie this onto your
What does
table.
Control Shift?
I don't know if it's because the oil pastel, but the marker doesn't seem to be working.
As good as you want it to. It might be the oil pastel. Do you wanna try a different marker though? I can bring you a different one and see.
yeah.
What do we need to say?
How do I oop? I like I don't like how I can choose. I don't get how theirs looks so nice. I can just do a send it in.
On the mic, my art statement is this artwork in oil pastel face. I use oil pastels on my face to draw and color this artwork. Everybody creates a self-portrait to look somewhat like me. And then the last one is I don't like it, the hairs, because the hair is the only thing that looks
But if you wanna log out of this.
What if you're 3 times
Logged in as you.
Hey, watch your line.
Did I give you that? Yeah. Is that what you're better?
Did you stop and cut my beautiful shirt?
No, that's okay. Just start.
on the mic.
Wait, so we take a picture and we leave this.
Yes. Okay. You may. There's oil pastels. Even though it's not that straight. I don't have any time.
Ooh.
So you just take and you make a circle. Right? So since this
I'm
one-
drawing on mine. Whoops. Direction.
I didn't, I just said the sentences, I didn't say the questions in the sentences.
You don't need to say the questions as long as it's a complete sentence.
I just wrote, this artwork is an oil pastel face. I use oil pastels in my face to draw and color this artwork. Everybody creates a self-portrait
Yep.
to look somewhat like me. And then I don't like it because the hair is the only thing that looks like me.
Okay. When I look at yours, and it's just a thought,
It's way too dark.
well, that's not what I see, but it looks like you didn't do your eyebrows. I can see that you did. right? Like I can see that you did, but it looks like the paper shines through. Maybe consider more medium there. Play with the color or your options. Okay, it's an app. Can I use your phone? Do you have that app? Okay, do you have permission to get apps? Like, are you allowed to get apps? Okay. And we're gonna go to the
I don't know what it is.
app store, and then we're gonna search. You might have had apps of the day we did this.
So we just kind of write out what we wrote.
So since I got what you wrote, I'm gonna get this out. And then once you get that, it's gonna take a minute.
Actually,
Well, I mean, you're kind of
Fast.
Honestly,
Okay, so where would it go?
really unfortunate. Yeah, you did.
Were we supposed to do T.A.G?
Artwork is about me, a self-portrait. I made my portrait with oil pastels and pencils. My idea behind this is making myself. I wanted the portrait to look like me.
So
I like my portrait because it looks a lot like
open it,
myself.
hit student, and scan this.
My name is Andrew. My artwork is pretty good. The second one is I made my artwork like drawing.
my name is
Parker, stop.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm not turning it off. Turn it off.
My name is Jar. I gotta have something.
Circle. Okay, put it on this.
I'm calling it a jar of peaches.
My name is
Through
Andrew.
the hole. Put it
First one is my artwork is pretty good.
Alright,
The second one is I made my artwork by drawing.
that makes sense. It doesn't
The
have to
third
be
one is
typed.
my big
You're gonna
idea
wanna take it off.
is making a self-portrait of me. The fourth one is I wanted to make it good. And the last one is I don't like it because I colored it and it looked better black and white.
Maybe make it darker.
So then you take these two and you match them up with the tail, right? And then
Not
you just
really
start wrapping
You can see
over
right
top
through
of
it.
the strings, like that.
I don't think I can see right
Does that make sense? So I'll have you do that. Julie, are you waiting on me? Okay.
Do we have to say our name before our statement?
You don't have to. You could. It'll tell us who you are because you're the one posting it.
Wait, so we just comment on anybody's?
Anyone from third hour. So I need to approve some, right? There's probably not very many from third hour yet. Let me help you out.
Scan it.
It wasn't approved.
Okay.
Alright, so Bella, if you refresh, I've just approved a couple.
Well, go down. I think I seen a stick man. Did you hand in a stick man?
You're the one that made that.
I didn't do that.
Someone did. I did not
How do I
make that.
do stuff?
I love it.
I'm gonna be something.
Alright, so everybody that's turned in, their
You're good,
earnest
Parker.
statement, it has been approved, you can go in and tag.
Oh, my basket.
So what are you supposed to be doing, Parker?
I'm sorry. Alright.
Go up.
So do we comment on somebody?
You're gonna tag somebody, yes, through a image.
Okay.
Okay, let's see the main
Wait, now.
So you're looking for third hour, right? So are any of the ones with the 3 in front of it?
Bella, should I critique yours?
I'm gonna critique
Yo,
yours.
should I just take it
Yeah,
off?
I'm gonna
Do
do yours
you want
then.
to do it on my phone? Should I just? Do you want to just do it on my phone?
Oh my god, it was so creepy. Hey,
Hey!
see me peering outside of it.
Boy, there's a lot of background noise.
Now I just
What? Bro, that was, yo, my leg actually looks really bad.
Like, it looks like I need stitches, doesn't it?
Yeah, we really need to.
Oh my gosh, what did you do?
You see, when your skin gets cut, it's
It is me.
and that's what happens to this young man.
Also, that?
Yeah, what did you do?
I fell. Okay, so like,
Oh my gosh.
I was like this. Bella, you really on like a metal part, and it was like a square, and then both my feet fell.
What?
You didn't really listen to yours,
And
I don't think.
then
No, I didn't.
You can barely hear your voice.
Yeah, I know. Because you're so freaking loud, partner.
Well, it was Andrew that was going over it.
Are you good?
Whose is this?
I like that. I like that you're in the
Oh,
back.
you're good too.
So it gives you a little picture of what you look like.
Hey, stop it!
Oh my gosh, DJ.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Why are there people making?
Let me see.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
Let me see.
Dude, that's
Let me
really
see it.
That's not good.
It's like a tiny you, but with a bigger
So what are you supposed to get this?
We're trying to find a partner.
Mine's right here. Andrew, stop!
Ouch, how'd that happen?
Happened last night.
Wait, what? Wait, no.
I fell and okay, so like pretend I was standing on this corner and it was really sharp. And my foot, both my feet slipped and my leg got caught.
Y'all saw you. Ass together.
And I'm really messed up.
Oh crap, I have to do a tag.
Not you.
Oh my god, it's in it.
Like what? It's not healthy.
Okay, write a comment. Like baby oil?
Did you think?
I mean, I thought of it, yes.
And it had vitamin E in it and made it a little harder to
What's your right?
I can go on.
Not even done yet.
So can you show me which parts were
Bro.
skin oil and which parts were?
I can
Seriously, that's amazing.
Okay.
everybody's account.
I am going.
But I was thinking
My name is and I call you Star.
Ow.
It's kind of abstract. I use oil
Wait, what?
My goal is to make it
I haven't seen this post yet.
I can't wait.
Who is this? Who is this?
Oh, I mean, I did it.
Truman?
Right. Oh, yeah.
Truman, you clicked the Jarius's name.
How could you?
It said I'm there.
I know, just because people are recording. You shall.
You heathen.
But do it on
Can my artist statement be a minute long?
mine?
no.
T. It's T. Tag.
Tell the artist something you like.
Why do you have to say
white boy.
Well, I made a comic
Oh my gosh, look at
What do I just add a tag to it?
Oh my gosh. This is gonna be great.
Are you done? No, you're not. How's it working for you? Okay.
Can you put emojis? Like, are we allowed to do that?
Can you what?
Wait. On your comments? Yeah, that would be fun. Oh, sweet.
Quick question. I just did pretty much. I didn't do the T.A.G thing.
Well, you need to do a
I
tag.
have to do it in separate sentences, in separate posts.
Well, or you could just do it all in one post.
Yeah, I did, but I didn't put the T.A.G. Like I didn't put T.A.G.
Oh, got you.
But I
Yep.
did.
So I can say that one is telling them, like it's clear one is telling them something you like. and
Wait, do
then
they have to be full
Yeah.
sentences?
Do
the
I
third
dare
one is giving them
Yeah.
suggestions. So hold it in his hand. Hold it in his hand. Okay. Then you hold it in his hand.
Oh my god, this is
What kind of questions do we have? Wrap it with this one.